sorry. All right, we're on the inside. Night. What going on with that? Oh, yes. All right, folks. Good evening. How everybody doing today? Santa Claus is all nice. I hope so. Right. So you know, well, not Santa Claus, but CXC Claus coming in a couple of about 4 months. Was it date on the math exam again? What was it? CSEC, May, June 2025. It was the 9th of May? PUA was the 6th. So PUA is the Tuesday. Was no English the day before? English and Spanish on the Monday.
Oh, I thought it was Spanish.
Oh. No. Alright, hold on, let me send. Yeah, I find whoever set any timetable, like they have it in for all you. English and Spanish, no account on Spanish? Paper one. Right. Let me see. Hold on, just now. This is May, June, right? Yeah. Hold on. What is going on with this thing? Can you not scroll? Whoa, hey, behave yourself. Oh, that's too big. Okay, stop. Okay, that was the problem. Right. Yeah. So English A is the Monday and Spanish same day. PUA is the following day. So right after English and Spanish, find your tail here. Yeah. So we jam in some PUA on the weekend. But obviously, if you have Spanish, you have to go lessons for that too, unless you're real good at it. So whatever. Well, you'll only know if you pass it in April. So you're gonna be working from now till then. So you might as well do it again.
I was still studying, but like if I get my pass.
Well, see if you get one. Right. And then after that exam on Tuesday, EDPM, religion. Who doing French? Anybody doing French? French? Yeah, one? Okay, one French on the Wednesday there. Oh, two, right, cool. TD. Uh-huh. All right, so after TD, because Maths is the Friday. So anybody who not doing French or EDPM or HSB or TD, we jam in class right through. We'll be here as long as you, well, okay, not as long as, like from, I would say from 10 in the morning to about 8 in the night max, right? Okay, cool. And then after that, well, they have the, Philip, behave yourself, right? The multiple choice, I believe, is the last exam. Is it again? Nah. Yeah, English is the second to last, and then Maths is the final one, right? So that week they have Add Maths paper one, that week Geography paper one, French and Chem, Bio, TD paper one. That week is a serious week, boy. Right? Yeah. So again, we'll be jamming the paper ones probably after the Tuesday. I'll probably give the Add Maths people the Monday and the weekend, or we could split it depending on how you all feel about it. Because after you do 2 or 3 of them papers, it's get really repetitive. So we don't have to overkill, right? We could probably do 1 or 2 sessions and we could try and do it for fun, how many papers we could zip through in our session, but we don't have to, right? We'll figure that out. Right. So, folks, good evening once again. We are tackling some bearings past paper questions here. So we are starting with the May 2015. So what I want to do with this one is do it kind of more as an example. If, however, you want to try it on your own, feel free to do so, right? I have lined up for today the Jan 2020 as well, the May 2011, and I put the question from yesterday on as well, right? So hopefully we get to that, because that one was it wasn't as bad as it looks, right? So without further ado, let's get into the May 2015, right? So of course, the first thing you need to do is you need to read your questions. Let's take a little read here, right? The diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows the relative positions of 3 fishing boats, K, L, and M, right? So let's connect with diagram, K, L, and M. And what shape we see appearing there with the lines drawn connecting those 3 items? We see in a triangle, right? Do we have any lengths on that triangle? We have, is that a knock? Okay. Yeah. So we have 2 of the lengths. We have a 80, which is the distance KL. All right. Hey, Ninzian, how you doing? Yeah, and find a seat somewhere. You can probably go by the Angeles. That's space long on that side. Right? LM is 120. That's this piece here. And they say, look at, this is an important piece, right? M is due south of L. M is due south of L, which means that it's basically a straight line going down. I mean, even if it wasn't due south, it'd still be a straight line, but relative to north, right? If that was north, right, the angle here will be what? What we saw on this page here. If something is due south, if G is due south of F, what's the bearing of G from F? 180 degrees, all right? So that angle is 180 degrees. Now, they gave us another bearing a little earlier on, so let's backtrack a little bit, right? So it says L is on a bearing of 40 degrees from K. So L is on a bearing of 40 degrees from K. So what did we learn about bearings on Monday? We learned that bearings are the clockwise angle between the north line at the start point and the line connecting the 2 points. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so this is the clockwise angle here between the north line at the start point and the line connecting the 2 points, K and L. So that angle there is equal to 40 degrees. So on the diagram, shows the bearing of 040 degrees, so you could plug it in there. And then they want you to calculate the measure of angle KLM. So angle KLM starts at K, goes to L, and then goes to M. So that angle is this angle here. Let's just call it theta for now, just as a placeholder. All right? Evening TikTok. Oh, Donovan. Wow, I didn't hear that. Hey, Donovan, evening, how you doing? Yeah, no worries, it's not a problem. I started a little late myself. We're doing some bearings past paper questions. This is the first one. We're just taking a read through. I sent a picture of the question in the chat, so you could always pull it up in a separate window if you want. All right. But yeah, we just discussed. I'm using this as an example to kind of show you how to approach the questions. Right. So all we did so far was we took a little read. I have an angle of 40 degrees here, and they want us to find this blue angle here. All right. Okay. So let's talk about that. So we kind of did this one already on the diagram, show that. So now we're talking about this. Calculate the measure of angle KLM. All right. Now we have a north line here. And one of the tricks that you will probably have to use with bearings questions is drawing a north line at the other point, right? So that's this pink line here. And all north lines point north, right? Which means that relative to each other, all north lines are mutually parallel. And when we have multiple parallel lines, that gives us opportunity to use F and Z angles, all right? So let me just highlight those lines. Actually, I'll put them in an orange. Why not? Right? So this line here and this line here are both parallel. All right? Oh, let's let the girls pass up. Oops, careful. That's all right. Okay, Mariel, I'll see you next week. All right, Tony, next week. Bye-bye. Hold on, I need a slightly thicker one. Where's the pink? All right, okay, so tomorrow is Thursday. So nobody tomorrow. Who? Right, the 6:30. Okay, cool. Right, but we already organized the 4 to 6 for the other kids already. It's just Drew has to confirm. That's the only person. Mishka handling that class. Well, I didn't talk to her about switching. Did you? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. Well, let me see. Yeah. One. Yeah. That would be a little tough. Yeah. All right. Message me. I just put Hanifa, and I'll see what I can do. All right. Okay. Later. There, guys. Right. So we have the two orange lines being mutually parallel, and we have this pink line. Right. Now on Monday we extended the line past that point, but that had to do with finding the bearing, the reverse bearing, right? Well, let's put it there. Right. So sometimes it's a bit hard to see the Z angles unless you're actually putting the line like that. So here's my question. Can we see the Z? Can we see a kind of sideways back to front Z going on there? Seeing it? And what do we know about Z angles? Well, they are equal. So the angle here would be equal to the angle here, which means that the green angle here is equal to the blue angle here. So the measure of angle, the blue angle theta is how much? 40 degrees, right? So the measure of that is 40 degrees, and the reason is because of alternating or z angles. All right. Hey, Jade, what's going on? Hey, Tuesday, come back, boy. What vibes? Let me just check. Hey, YouTube, what vibes? I didn't realize I had a public line. I had to change that, but you're welcome to stay. All right. Right, so like I said, I'm kind of using, you call it Mishka? Oh, Mishka, I think Paige calling you. Yeah. So like I said, we're using this question as an example of how you have to approach these questions. Now, not every question will be the exact same. Oh, this one? Oh, yeah, sure. Right? But there will be similarities and things like that you have to look out for. Right? The parallel lines, that kind of stuff. All right. Now, let's take a look here. Oops, my bad. Right, so calculate the length to the nearest kilometer of km. Let's put km in a different. Let's put km in a green, shall we? Km is here. All right, cool. Sorry, the line kind of didn't. Yeah, my bad. Okay, so we want to find the length of the green line there. Now, what kind of triangle do we have here? Is it a right angle triangle? Not that we could tell. We have no way to tell that. Well, technically you can, but it's not. All right. So since it's not a right angle triangle, we can't use basic sine, cosine, and tan unless we draw more lines and do a lot more working. But we do have sine and cosine rule available. With the cosine rule, if we have two sides and what we call the included angle, we could find the third and unknown side. So is that what we have here? Do we have two adjacent sides and the angle between them? We do. We have 80, we have 120, and we have the 40-degree angle that we found between them. So that means we're going to use the cosine rule. All right. So for item 3, right, we're going to use cosine rule. Now remember, with trigonometry and, well, with bearings, which is part of trigs, right, any aspect of trigs could be used. It could be basic SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent. It could be sine rule, cosine rule. It could even be Pythagoras theorem, all right? So just bear all that in mind. So if we use the cosine rule, right, so we want to find the green line, right? So that's Km. So Km squared will be equal to the pink line, which is, KL squared plus LM squared minus 2 by KL by LM by the cosine of theta. All right, so now we're going to put in the values there. So KL is 80, so we have 80 squared. LM is 120, so we have 120 squared. Minus 2 by 80 by 120 by the cosine of 40. Right, so this is just plug it in a calculator and play. But you have to be careful how you do that, because if you plug it in incorrectly, you will get the incorrect answer. Okay, so you don't have to show what 80 squared is, what 120 squared is, all that stuff, right? If you want to, you can, right? But I'm saying it's not necessary. And the thing that you must make sure not to do is don't do 80 squared plus 120 squared and minus this piece alone, right? This whole thing here in the back is a single product with multiple factors, all right? So please don't ignore the cos 40, all right? So let's plug it up in the calculator and see what we get, all right? So 80 squared plus 120 squared minus brackets 2 by 80 by 120 by the cosine of 40. Now, on your calculators, you'll have to press cosine first. Right, so I have 6,091.94. If anybody else is plugging it up, please let me know if you got the same figure, right? So that's 6, whoops, what is it? 6091.94, right? 6091.94, sorry. Dot. Right, now that is km squared, right? The cosine rule is actually Pythagoras' theorem with a modifier, which is this piece to the back here. Now, if that is km squared, how do I find km? How do I undo a square? I have to find the square root. Very good. So I'm going to square root 6091.94. So keep that value in your calculator and then just square root it, right? So square root that. So we get about 78, almost exactly, right? It's set to the nearest kilometer, right? So this is equal to, so km is equal to 78 kilometers. Yo. Oh. Right there? All right, cool. Yeah, I should have zoomed in before. Sorry about that. Right? So yeah, so you have to know. Oh, sorry, Avi, my bad. Did you ask something? I didn't see it. Sorry. Okay, thanks. Yo, what's up? Uh-huh. Talk to us. All right. For whatever reason, what happened is you get like a half
Yeah, so.
I didn't realize that this was wrong. But if it's clear that
So we use sine rule
correct
when you have
there's something called
okay.
error carry
So
forward.
sine
They
rule
would
what's
analyze the error being there.
where
If what you do something like that is the correct working, they mark you on. Yeah. Yeah, the mark. Sorry. All right, then I do. Oh, well, then Aisha. Right. Oh, sorry, Aisha. Waffle God, what going on, Waffle God? Aisha, evening, how you doing? Yeah, sorry, we're doing some bearings participle questions. So this first one was, I'm still doing the first one as the example, right? So you didn't miss too much. It's May 2015. I sent a picture of it in the WhatsApp chat. All right, so you could always pull it up there if you want. But I just, oh sorry, I was supposed to fix. Yeah, sorry, KL by LM, right? KL by LM. Right. Zoom back in again. Zoom back in. Actually, maybe I'll send it in the chat. Right. All right, Christian, what's your name with that? Look familiar? Doable? All right. All right. So, well, I know Aisha no popping, so everybody else, Donovan, Juliana, and Jair, if you could give me a genie chat, if you're good with that so far, right? Right. Can you say first one? All right. When you say the first one, Julie, you're talking about this first part here on the diagram, show the bearing of 40 degrees. Yes, okay, cool. Right, so remember, on Monday we said the bearing of one point relative to another, right? So sorry, I need to get a different color, right? So L is on a bearing of 40 degrees from K. So K is the start point. And the bearing, right? The bearing is the clockwise angle between the north line at the start point and the line connecting the 2 points, right? So K is the start point, L is the ending point. The pink line is the line connecting the both of them, and this here, that orange line is the north line at the start point. So the clockwise angle, so remember clockwise goes in this direction. All right? Does that help, Julie? Ah. Okay, my queen. All right. Do you wear glasses? Oh, well, I can move some stuff if you want there. No? All right. All right. What level of math is this? This is CSEC Form 5. A voice, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the next part of the question, shall we? So that's 78. That's a real good joke in the corner there, boy. I hear chase and a slam on the ground kind of thing. All right. All right, Form 3. Okay, well, I'm glad everything is easy. I like how okay, thanks very much, and I appreciate that. So I'm glad to hear you understand it. All right, we can get a little quiet in the dance there. You want to step outside and come back and take some fresh breeze? You sure? All right, you're good. Okay. Right. Okay. The next thing they want is calculate the measure of LKM to the nearest degree. Okay. All right. So LKM. Let's see where LKM is. So LKM is this angle across here. So let's just call that one alpha for now, right? All right. Cool. Okay, so we have to find that angle there. Sorry, let me actually write in 78 in diagram. I thought I picked the green. All right, cool.
So yeah, for the next one, I think you'll use sine rule.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so we are going to use sine rule here. Now, you could use sine rule, or you could actually... This joke's still going hard, eh? You gotta take it down. Yeah, right. So like a spray kind of thing. Right. So we could either use sine rule, or we could use a kind of reversal of cosine rule. Right? Right. Yeah, the reversal of cosine rule is a little more involved, so we don't have to use that one, but you're very welcome to do so if you like it. So what we will do is we'll use the sine rule. Now, to use the sine rule to find a value of an unknown angle, we're going to need the length opposite that angle. Do we have that length? Yes. What is the value of it? 120. And we need one other pair of angle and opposite side. Do we have one other pair of angle and opposite side? What's that? The 40 degrees and the 78. All right, cool. So for part 4, so I guess I could zoom in here, right? So for part 4, using sine rule. Okay. Oh, here's Janaya. I guess I can put her. Hey, evening, Janaya. How you doing? Good to see you back. Hope you had a good trip for Christmas. Right, we're doing some variance past paper questions here, so I hope you got a chance to look at the replay from Monday. Otherwise, you might be a little bit lost unless you did it in school before and you understood. So just try your best, but if anything, you could always send me some questions on WhatsApp and let me know what's going on. Right, so using sine rule. So sine rule, the sine rule says that there's a constant ratio between the length of a side and the sine of the angle opposite. What does that mean? All right. So normally we would say like A over sine A is equal to B over sine B and that kind of thing, right? Now, whenever you're looking for an angle, what I would suggest is just flip the rule, right? But what we could do, let's set it up in the conventional manner. So 120 over sine alpha. Now, you don't have to use alpha. You could use X, you could use Y, whatever letter that doesn't make it confusing, right? You could even use K, because that's where the angle is at K, right? So 120 over sine k, which just looks like sync, is equal to 78 over sine 40, right? Or just flip both sides. Put sine k on top, right? Sine k over 120 is equal to sine 40 over 70. Now, to solve for k, we first want to remove the denominator. How is the numerator attached to the denominator? What operation? Division. To remove something attached by division, what do we need to use? The opposite operation, which is multiplication. So we'll multiply by 120 on both sides, right? So we have sine 40 degrees over 78, then multiply by 120. Right. We're going to plug that up in our calculator and get a value. So we have sine 40 divided by 78, then multiply by 120. So we have 0.9889, blah, 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 right? So sine k is equal to 0.9889, dot, dot, dot. So to find k now, we have to undo or reverse the sign, which means simply finding the sine inverse of 0.9889, dot, dot, dot. So again, leave the value in your calculator and find the sine inverse of it. So we get about 81 degrees. Right, so k is equal to 81 degrees to the nearest degree, because they did ask for the nearest degree, right? See, to the nearest degree. So always give them the degree of accuracy that they asked for. Right, so we're going to zoom back in. I'm going to send that pic in the chat too. Sorry, Donovan, you asked a question? Here. Oh, no, I now see. Javier, like, you need some headphones, boy. I realize. But how you felt overall about the exam yesterday, boy? Yeah. Right. Can I SS this? What is SS? Oh, screenshot. Yeah, sure. Sorry. Well, yeah, you can screen it. No problem. That's fine. Right. Okay. So, my Google Meet people. So Aisha Donovan, Juliana, Jerry, and Janaya. If you guys are good with this, give me a give me a G in the chat. If you need me to re-explain, give me a R's now. But let me know what you want to re-explain. Right. All right. Yo. Yeah, just give me 1 sec. All right, Nita, you get through? Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So when you say second line, you're talking about this line here? Right. All I did was I inverted both sides. Right? So I just come on, man. Yeah, I just flipped both sides, that's all. So 120 over sine k is equal to 7 over sine 40. So if I flip both sides, the equality remains. Right? Other than that, you'd have to cross multiply both sides and then divide by. It's just an extra layer we don't need to do. All right? But I mean, nothing is wrong with showing that stuff. Oh, and thanks for sharing, Nita. All right. Giggles in the corner here. Will you good with that? All right, cool. They call it the gig girls. Right. Logan, we cool with that? All right, Christian, talk to me. We cool there? All right, far side. Sian and D'Angelo, sorry. You all right there? No, are you okay? Looking a little sleepy. Yeah. All right. Jaden, talk to me. Nyla, Page. You all okay with that? Okay, cool. All right. Wait, Chris, can you just say when to use? Right. You use the sine rule when you have angles and sides that are opposite to each other. Right? So before we had this, we didn't have any angles and sides opposite to each other. We had these two sides here and the angle between them. Right? So when you have that, when you have the two sides and the angle between, that's when you use the cosine rule. When you have angles and sides opposite each other, you could use the sine rule, sorry. All right? Does that help at all, Jair? All right, cool. All right. It was Leila. No, I do PUA maths and add maths. Although right now I have one of my helpers doing the advanced class for me as I have some admin work backlogging. Yeah, but you know I do PUA maths and advanced. And I'd like to go into cake maths too, but I had to prep that. Anyhow, okay. I'm zooming out of here because we have a last specific. Now, this is a very interesting part here. They want the bearing of M from K. So first things first, what I want to do actually is copy and paste the question again to kind of clear it up. All right, so what I'm going to do, hold on. Yeah. Hold on, sorry. Let me read the bearing of M from K.
Yeah, there'll be two angles.
Yeah, true. Okay, sorry, yeah. I was overcomplicating it. All right, thank you. Right, so the bearing of M from K, let's just identify the 2 points, right? M from K. So the bearing, sorry, let me just see if I could zoom out right here. So the bearing of M from K is the clockwise angle starting from the north line at K and going until it hits the line connecting the 2 points. Right? So the north line at K, clockwise angle. Right. So what we're seeing here is it is the sum of 40, the external angle, and what I had as alpha, which is 81 that we just found in the orange there. So 40 plus 81 is simply going to be 121. Right. So this is simply equal to 40 degrees plus 81 degrees, which is equal to 121 degrees. All right, and that is the solution for the May 2015 question. I'm going to send a picture in the chat. That's math, baby nana. Yeah, that's math. Yeah, that is. It's a piece of math that is correct, sir. Or miss. I know it's not. The person. All right. Okay. Right. So some questions they kind of give you easy things to find. It's really easy bones. Right. Other questions you had to work a little harder for it. Right. Okay. So with that, let me just put this next question to print because y'all are gonna try this question. We will talk through it, so I won't leave you stranded and not knowing what to do. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Right. So 14 copies again. Right. Right, and I will send a picture of this in the chart as well. Give me a second. Okay, maybe I can just do this instead. Right, cool. Right, so going back here, in case anybody's still copying some stuff down. Right. PUA tomorrow. Yeah. Need to CXC math, that's correct, yeah. Yeah, PUA tomorrow. All right. Okay, so let's. Okay, I thought it was in two-sided for some reason. I don't know. Did I tell you what happened to this printer? Did
No,
the ink ran out, right?
Right.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna buy the ink. So there's a place, in Woodbrook, the park where Hearts gather by the fire station.
I think so.
Right. So there's a place near there. Remember Brooklyn buys?
Brooklyn Bar.
Okay, if not, no problem. So there's a place there that I go to.
Right.
Call them, they don't have the ink.
So
Only-
it's your ink dealer.
Yeah, the only place that has the ink is a little further in town. So I had to go in town to get it and then face traffic coming back. But thankfully, I actually bypassed somewhere. I got it. But I came home, took out the old cartridge, put in a new one. Or I thought I did. So I pressed print and it printed very badly, like very light. So I swap it out just in case I made a mistake and it's printing well now. But I don't know. I am 99.999% sure I put in a new cartridge and it said no ink. So I swap it out and the old cartridge seemed to have more ink now. So you know. Yeah. Right. Okay. So I'll just wait till everybody has the question there, then I'll go to it on the screen. Right, we'll zoom in and we'll take a read of the question, right? So that that part that I make sure to do with which is the reading of the question is very important, right? A lot of times you'd be surprised how many times people don't read the question. They just jump into it. They figure, well, I just have to read this and then go back. Now you could do that, You could if you want, but I would always suggest starting from top and going down. Wait, it's right. So you see like how this is here? Right. So that tells me that it's running out of ink. Right? Anybody else have a kind of like a light space? Right. This is baffling. Okay, who knows what's going on? Is Chris single? No. Questions in the chat, boy. What? All right.
You have admirers, Chris.
Clearly, I know, boy. Yeah. It have one of me. I am singular. Right. Okay. So let's go. So this is the Jan 2020 question, right? Diagram below, again, not drawn to scale, shows the route or route of a ship cruising from Palm City to Keaton to Rivertown. So from Palm City to Keaton or Keaton to Rivertown. All right, cool. P to Q to R. The bearing of Q from P is 133. The bearing of Q from P is 133 degrees. So they've given us that item. And the angle PQR is 56. So PQR is 56 degrees. Right? They've also given us two lengths, a 210 kilometer distance from P to Q and 290 from Q to R. Right? Now, they want the value of angle W, which is here. Now, what they've done here is they've shown you a north line, which is a straight line. What is the total angle on a straight line? 180. So this whole angle here is 180 degrees, right? Now, you have a 56 piece here, and you want to find this piece. So the key to unlocking this, therefore, is finding that piece there. Right? So I'll give you a little hint. If you were to extend this line, you would create your F angles, right? Which means that this angle here would also be 133. And again, this whole thing here is a straight line angle, which means that the total angle is 180. So we could find this little piece here, not so? All right, cool. Right, and then they want the bearing of P from Q. So this is something that we did Monday. Here, we have the bearing of Q from P, which is 133. Here, in this question, they want the reverse bearing. They want the bearing of P from Q. So we know how to do that based on what we did on Monday. And then they want the distance RP, which is this distance here. Now look at this. We have the two other lengths, and we have what we call the included angle, or the angle between them. All right? Can I repeat? Kayla, I'm not sure which particular part. Elijah, this is not a paper, this is a paper 2. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So what rule will we use to find this length here, given that we have the other two adjacent sides and the opposite angle? Sine rule or cosine rule? Cosine rule. All right. So take your time, work through this thing piece by piece. What I'll do is I'll give you a minute or so to start. I'll take a little walk around, and then right now, of course, if as you go along you have any questions, please feel free to let me know. That's not a problem. And Google Meet, if you all have any questions, of course, let me know. That's not a problem. Right? Right. Is the part about the 133? Okay, yeah. So, right. So Kayla, what we're saying there is that this is a north line, and this is a north line as well. And all north lines are parallel. And we have, hold on, let me get a slightly heavier line, right? We have this line kind of passing through those two parallel lines. And what that does is it creates the opportunity to use F and possibly Z angles. Right? So if you have two parallel lines and you have a line cutting them, you could use F angles or you could use the Z angles. Right? Now this one here is a kind of, you can say a fallen F. So you have this line and this line, right? The two parallel lines. So you can kind of see the F, the kind of lying back, kind of reclined, right? And what that means is that this angle here and this angle here correspond, right? That's actually the technically correct term for F angles. They are called corresponding angles. So this angle here is 133 as well. And then the whole angle in the straight line is 180. So to find this piece here, we'd simply have to find the difference between 180 and 133. So I hope that helps, Kayla. All right, hey, Leah, even though you're doing. Hey, Dana. Yo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one. for that. Well, I mean, you could if okay. So that's 180 here, right? There's 133 here, right? Which this would be 47 here and 47 here. So you could add up all of those and then subtract from 360. Yeah, you could do that.
So along this line, you found for x.
Right?
So I just extended this angle to show you that. So we know that this angle and this angle are going to correspond because of that angle. And then along this north line, on a straight line, an angle is 180. So if you take away 130 from 180, you'll find this angle right here. All the way to the bottom. Okay. So now when we want to find W along this line, we're going to take this answer and add it to this one and subtract it from 180.
All right.
Um,
So 77. All right, let's take a look and see. Right. So what we'll do there is we'll see 180 minus the 47 plus the 56.
added those two and subtracted. Yeah, you could do that.
47 and 56 is 103. 103 from 180 is 77 degrees. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, so W is 77 degrees. All right. All right, you understand? Okay, glad to hear that. Okay, Google Meet. Google, I'll take another walk around the class. I'll be back in like 2 minutes, right? TikTok, I'll take another walk around the class. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Cosine rule is a squared is equal to a squared plus c squared minus 2ac cos c. Here. Looking good. Looking good, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Tangle
that's correct.
cos root. You're going okay? Okay. So we went 360, so we go minus 47 right here. So we're going from here all the way to here. See that? Now going to fourth. Okay, so we're trying to find a variant from Q. So we start at Q. So I'll start at number north line.
Yes.
And
Because if you just take 47 over 360, you get that. And then the other thing
so
you can do
you're gonna
is
find what this
your
is
another variant
and
is 150,
subtract that
right?
from 1.
So if you want to do what I call the reverse variant,
Or you could just
is
add
you say here, if you form 47, and you think about this, if you pull out the one, and total the sum of all the
from
angles at a
360.
point,
So
360.
or you
47
could
from 360
add
will be
this one to
63.
this one. Right. From the north line here.
Chris,
All the way to your P line.
This is 210, this is 290. So let's just find that this side is 290. I gotta see the next one.
but this item.
Yeah, you just go side road.
Remember, it's not you. That's what is skill. Oh.
No, hold on. I'm not saying the answer, right? Southeast. Right? East would be 190, south would be 190, the west would be 270, and then up north would be 360. Right? Now, if you're talking about southeast, southeast is so between east and west, we do 90. answer. If the bearing of this point from that original point is 130.
I couldn't get that.
But they probably use what the value of the arm.
I had
But I can never hear it. It's actually bigger than that. Look, yeah. Right. Have a pencil at the work. Right. What you want us to find is the bearing. Is the bearing of P from Q. The bearing of P from Q is at angle. And it is the angle that starts at the north line at clockwise and then it hits the line joining here. So if you start from here and you go this way, it is this angle here. Now, if you include this little piece here, a full circle. What is the number of degrees in a full circle? 360. And the whole thing will be 360, right? And if we exclude this piece, is the this angle was 47, not so? So 360 minus 47.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So since you have, wait, no, I missed one. Since you have the corresponding angle, you can use cos. Do you know cos law hands?
But that,
A squared equals B squared.
these two legs.
Plus is a bad word. Bad word. Cos.
This side here is P. This side here is
So,
R.
this length is going to be corresponding to this angle. So, this is the length. This would be A. This would be angle.
So send these
I think so. PNC are very, you don't know your language. So this is your angle cos A. This could be your PNC. A is angle.
Oh, it's not 47.
bearing is the angle between the north line and the start point. So if you want P from Q, from Q. So you want the clockwise angle from the north line here.
I don't remember.
It's the line joining two points. No, some of the angle of the point is 360.
Will the angle be 56?
And if the angle is 47, we have to go 360. Then find the remainder after subtracting 47.
Yeah, from
You say it's using.
Where does it finish?
So, yeah, your angle radius.
Okay.
You don't know what A squared is.
Google Meet.
Putting it
Right, I'm back.
cos.
Hey Sashi. Ablahama. Is that a riff on Alabama? I'm not sure. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the bearing of P from Q. Right. The bearing of P from Q is the clockwise angle that starts at the north line at the starting point and hits the line joining the 2 points.
Yeah.
All right. So if we zoom in, it would be this angle here.
I mean, it could be wrong.
And now, if you consider the whole circle at that point, that's 360. What we're missing is this piece here. Right? In other words, that piece is not part of the bearing. We know that that is 47 degrees.
Minus a bracket.
So you simply subtract the 47 from 360. All right. Right. Now what we'll do is we'll label these sides with small letters. Oh, let me see it.
Yeah, like, you could like literally write on the little pad. Isn't that rather cool?
Does it go inside of here after?
Yeah. Like it puts it in. That is so innovative.
I can't even see a brand. What's the name of this?
Whatever it is, it's relevant.
Yeah, I wanna get one.
Literally, like, that would get me so excited.
It comes in a stylus.
Yeah, it's a.
I'm gonna take it out, but I just What was the name of this? Like, if I want to go and buy this, like, no. Yeah, only, sorry. Brethren have a calculator, right? The top here is like a tablet. You're right here. And when you're right there, it goes here. So you can write out your sum and it'll work it out for you.
That is so cool. That's real cool.
That's send the Amazon link. Might have actually it probably can't carry it in the exam though. No, hold on. If it's not programmable, a programmable calculator can't carry. They never say anything about that. All right. Okay, so this side here is opposite angle P. So this would be small p. This side here is opposite vertex R. That is small r. This side here that we're looking for is opposite Q. So that's small q. All right. So for item 3, to find RP, we're going to use the cosine rule again. Right. There we go. So we're looking for Q. So Q squared is equal to P squared plus R squared minus 2PR multiplied by the cosine of big angle Q. Okay, cool. So let me give you a minute or two if you haven't done it yet, so you can actually just substitute, simplify, solve. Oh, okay. Well, that's tomorrow. Right, let me just answer this question real quick, and we will see what's going on. Right, Google Meet, let me know if you need any help. That's what we're here for. Hey, Ethan, anything from any part of the syllabus. I don't know that there are specific topics that can only come on paper 3. I do not think that they are, but you can always take a browse of the syllabus and see what they say. But as far as I know, any topic from any part of the syllabus could come on any paper, and they do. All right, cool. Right, so I'm gonna start writing in some values here. Okay, so what we have, so P is 290, so we have 290 squared plus 210 squared minus 2 by 290 by 210 by the cosine of 56 degrees. Okay, 1 second. Sorry. Tyron, you have a question. How much is paper 2 worth? 50% of your final mark. Do we have to do all the questions on paper 2 to pass it? No, but your chances of passing it are directly proportional to the number of questions you do correctly. Skeleton, what a POA would be like? It's like a shorter version of a paper 2. You have 5 questions, but they're very short. You can't have an income statement, but there's also ask you like comprehension questions too. So yeah, that's for POA, yeah. Right, sorry. So now it's just to plug in the calculator and see what we get. Okay, cool. So we have 290 squared plus 210 squared minus 2 by 290 by 210 by 56 cosine close brackets equal. So 60,090. So Q squared is equal to 60,090 dot dot dot. Therefore, to find the value of Q, we have to undo the square, which means finding a square root. Square root, and that gives us 245. And they said, well, we'll do to the nearest kilometer, right? So 245 kilometers. Anybody got that? All right, cool. All right, to the nearest kilometer. All right, Google Meet, give me a quick G in the chat if you're good with that. Please and thanks. If you need me to re-explain, let me know. Give me a R. All right, cool. You all okay with that last piece there? All right. Logan, we cool with that? All right. Christian, talk to me. We okay with that question? All right. Jaden and Noah, we okay with that? All right. D'Angelo and Zian. Yes? No? Maybe? Cool. Peter, Nyla? All right, cool. All right. So I share Juliana another one. All right. So the two. What going on? Jair and Janai. I forget. No. I'll come and check it just now. You have to use the brackets after you put the minus sign for sure. Yeah, so after you put 290 squared plus 210 squared minus, you had to open a bracket, put the calculation inside. But remember, when in your phone, well, I don't know which iOS you on, but with mine, I have to press the angle first, then press cosine. Right, and then close the brackets after that, then press equal. So if you don't use your brackets, you're not likely to get the same answer. Okay, all right, cool. So that's that item there. So give yourself. Right, I'll just take a picture. That's in the chat. I'll put the other one to print. All right, cool. Right, I'll just jump back here in case anybody's still copying anything down. Right, we'll see. Let's see. Yeah, when they go through the second one. Yeah. Just pull one. Let me see how it's looking. Let's still have that thing in the middle. So which cartridge am I using? Am I using the old one, the new one?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I know.
Yeah. I bought earlier when I print out some POA stuff, it come out real bad, like the ink was done. I went and I buy a new cartridge. I come home, I put in a new cartridge, I print. It looked the same as if the old cartridge was in. So I say maybe I was just so sleepy I put back in the old cartridge. So I put back in the other cartridge, and now we're doing that. It have a big kind of blank space coming on the middle here. So is it that I spent $1,300 to buy a cartridge and the cartridge dead? Yeah. Well, I don't open it. You understand what I'm saying? See, we just had a videotape everything. I record, like unboxing, everything. All right, cool. All right, so, ladies and gents, we're going to take a real discussion, but just give me one second. I'm going to send in the chat. All right. Folks, watch me on the screen here for a second, right? Look at this diagram here, and look at the one we just do. It's slightly different. Right, look, hold on. Look at the diagram here, and look at this diagram here. This is the one we're doing now, May 2011, and this Jan 2020. To find x, that's correct, right? But look at that. 133 at the top, 132. 56 there, 56. Same 48, but I think in our question we just was 47, right? So, yeah, and hold on, what are the values? Right, I look at the 220 and 360. So instead of 210 and 290. So, normally if people ask me, does CXC repeat questions? I'll say not in the paper too. This is a slight exception to that. This question from May 2011 was simply repurposed, as in they changed a degree and a couple of other values, but it's the same exact diagram. All right, so let's again take a read of the question, and you all should be able to handle this one a bit more. Well, should be done, right? If not, not a problem, right? Diagram below, not drawn to scale, shows the route of an aeroplane flying from Port City to Queenstown and then to Riversdale. The bearing of Q from P is 132 degrees, and the angle PQR is 56. The bearing of Q from P is 132 degrees, and the angle here is 56. So they want the value of x, so I'm sure you could find that because we just basically did the same question before. Then they want the distance RP, because from Port City to Queenstown is 220, and then from Queenstown to Riverdale is 360. The only thing different here is they want after that they want the bearing of R from P. So R from P means they want this whole angle here. So we therefore need to find this piece on the inside and add it to the 132. Right, so I will leave that in your capable hands for a few minutes. Right, of course, if you're still having any issues, it's not a problem. You could always ask for help. Find the angle on the inside there? I would suggest it, yes. You could, well, one piece you could find the 48 degree 48 degree piece pretty easily, but other than that, yeah, sine rule is probably the best way to do it. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I know they said silent, non-programmable calculators are allowed. So if it is silent and non-programmable, it should be allowed. Good. I had a see what going on there. I had a see because it's those two. Ugh. Okay. After you press it, you can after you press the minus sign. So minus open brackets press a 2. Jada Waiter. Thanks for sharing, Jada. Thanks, Raj. Yeah. I could check. May 2011. Yeah, 299. We take a little.
Screw.
Right, 76, all right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
Just make sure that he's corresponding with standards.
Right, and yeah, if that's correct, but we have to add that to the one.
This angle
But you want to be right. R from B, so it's the whole angle. Yeah.
Nah,
I
I said,
you have to find out.
Yeah.
That's like normal. How much is it now? Now you can do 2 by 360. By 360.
yeah, that's what it is.
Right. Right. So
On this side. After that. Yes, I did.
right here.
Yeah.
299 kilometers, right? Right, so you're carrying a car from here. Only with the design here. So you use that. If it's like design here, it's the other way to do that. You probably would have to use the side road because you have this side of the road. This is the angle.
Now let people switch.
And then you have actually this angle on this side here, just fine. So you can set it up. These, this there, and this there. Side road. The side road is A of the length of the side of the opposite angle is equal to the length of the side. So it's a constant ratio for all repeats over sine of 260 is equal to 360 over sine for the length. Until then from there you can transpose this over.
What? Yeah, you do you.
Or you're gonna do it. Right. So you're looking for this angle. This is the sine opposite, right? So it's 360 over sine this. And
I'm not really sure why you put it in your phone calculator. I could get you a calculator too. Okay, just sorry, those are only barely days that I'm a teacher class. It'll be I'll bring it. Okay, if you have one. There's one.
Where are you looking for? It's from here. So you define this answer. All right, cool. All right, sorry. Two viewers, all right, cool, no problem. What is it gonna get? Right, all right, cool, that's fine. That's marked out. That's good. Okay, so let me go. Because I want to tackle that John 2024 for sure. Okay. The value of x. Right, that'll be easy. This is a straight line. The total angle is 180. So you add 56 and 48 and subtract from 180. Okay, cool. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And then what you would do, you would walk with your device. Okay.
Because I assume Juliana was here. Wait, no.
Hold on. Julie, you come in tomorrow for admats in person? Yeah. Yeah, that ask Logan. I don't know.
No,
I can't. Okay.
but yeah, I'll be here until 8:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, later.
Hi, everybody.
Right, 48 plus 56. 104. So that's 76 degrees, right? Right, for RP, we're going to use cosine rule. Right, so this is Q across here. This is P, this is R. Right? So Q squared is equal to P squared plus R squared minus 2PR cosine Q. Right, P squared 360 squared plus 220 squared, 2 by 360, 220 by the cosine of 56. All right. Right, so 89, 423. So Q squared is equal to 89, 423, dot, dot, dot. So to find Q, you have to undo the square, which means finding the square root. So 299. Right. That's that part. Now, the next thing they want you to find, the last thing, is the bearing of R from P. So this is where some people were forgetting where the bearing starts and where it ends. If they want the bearing of R from P, you have to start your angle at P, at the north line at P, and go clockwise until you hit the line connecting the two points, sorry. Which, now, we have piece of the angle already, the 132 portion, but we don't have this portion inside of here, right? To find that, we could use the sine rule because we have the length opposite and we have one other pair of length and angle opposite each other. So we could use sine rule for that. Now, after you find the angle, don't forget to add it to 132. So let's do that. Right, so 299 over sine 56. Sorry, no. Let's do the 360 first. So 360 over sine P is equal to 299 over sine 56 degrees, right? Now just invert both sides, right? So sine P over 360 is equal to sine 56 over 299. Now you're going to multiply by the denominator to clear it out from the left-hand side of the equation. So you have sine 56 over 299 multiplied by 360. Not degrees, right? So let's plug that into the calculator, shall we? Right. So 56 sine divided by 299, then multiply by 360, right? So we have 0.998 and change. So sine of P, sorry, point what? 0.998? Yeah. So 0.998 dot dot dot. So therefore, to find the value of P, we simply have to find the sine inverse of 0.998. Which is about 86.5. So let's call it 87 degrees, right? So P is approximately 87 degrees. And therefore, now we're going to add the 87 to the 132. All right, so the answer is equal to the 132 plus the 87, which is 219 degrees. So the bearing of R from P is 219 degrees. Aha. That's no problem. Let me give you the last question. It's from yesterday, actually. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, right? Right. So let me take a picture of this and send it in the chat. Hey, Tammy, what vibes? Right, Google Meet. If you guys could give me a genie chat, if you guys are good with that, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, let me try not to cheat.
Because this is sine P.
I don't know that's
Sine P is
not
198. To find the value of P, just undo the sign. But every time I try to see the buy a phone, something happens. So when I push him on crash courses, so they make sure I get people to come, right? So I can afford a phone. But why you say no? I had to go and do some sniffing, so yeah. Alright, Aisha. So one person good. Alright. Well, the rest of them let me know what's going on. How I can help, what specifically you want. Yo. Oh yeah, I'll put up on the screen. Let me send this in the chat first. Alright, this is Jan 2024 question, guys. I'm gonna zoom in, we're gonna read and do the first couple parts, and then we'll go down and see the rest of it, right? Okay. Two ports E and G are on level ground 245 kilometers apart. E and G are on the same level ground 245 kilometers apart. We okay with that? Nice. The bearing of E from G is 302 degrees. What? The bearing of E from G. So E from G is 302, right? So from G starts here. So that whole angle is 302 degrees. What's that? All right. A ship is anchored at F, some distance away from G on a bearing of 228, right? So that bearing there, this one here, yeah, that's 228. So I'm giving it that one, right? Angle EFG is 52. Right. So they wanted to put in the 228, so we did that. Determine the value of angle FEG. So they want this angle here, FEG. Yo. You can do that. Right? And then they want GF, which is the distance the ship is from port G. Yeah, you do your thing. The distance the ship is from port G. What? Our ship is anchored at F. Oh, okay. Right. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to sort out part part B, the blue angle, and then to find the orange line. All right, Javi. So next week then, right? All right, later. That one here, right? Okay. This is the one that I am very sure is a new carpet, right? That clearly runs out of ink, as you can see from the printouts, right? What I gonna do? Right. That cartridge, 1298. 1300. Um, this is a A. So okay, so the A cartridges have the normal amount of ink. The X cartridges have the extra. Normally, I'd have to go through 2 a year if it's the X, right? And I, normally with the X, I can't get that down. I had to bring it from Amazon. Um, this A cartridge, the last one lasted me longer than I thought. But I was in conjunction with that printer. But that printer now is 11 years old. And I put in a fresh cartridge with that one. I don't know. It's print one page and then say misprint. So, yeah. Between a rock and a bit of a hard place right now. So, all right, so let me go. So, folks, how do we find. How. Oh, hold on, that's now. Orange, right? So, okay. Right, so how do we find this yellow angle here? Anybody? That's the pink minus the green. Right, so 302. Sorry. Minus 228. That's what, 74 degrees. Right. And then, no, right. That's right. That's that piece. To find the blue one, what we had to do? We had to add up 74 and 52 and subtract it from 180, right? That's 126, right? 126 from 180 is 54 degrees. Right, 54 degrees. Right, and then the one GF, which is the orange line, and we're going to use sine rule for that. Right, so we're going to use sine rule. We have one pair of angle and side opposite each other, right? So GF over sine 54 is equal to 245 over sine 52. So this is almost isosceles, eh? 52 and 54 are pretty close together. So the orange length will be a little bigger than 245, right? Because remember, if this is 52 and that's 245, 54 is a bigger angle. So the length opposite 54 degrees will be wider than, well, a bit longer than the length opposite 52 degrees. So to find GF now, we simply have to multiply throughout the equation by the denominator. Right, so 245 divided by the sine of 52 degrees, then multiplied by the sine of 54 degrees. So about 251.5, anybody? So about, let's say 252, right? So 252 kilometers. Right, so that's that piece there. Okay. Now check this one here. Item 3 says indicate the point H on line EF such that GH is the shortest distance from G to EF. Indicate on this line here a point H such that the distance G to H is the shortest distance from G to EF. I'll give it that one. It will be the perpendicular, not bisector, right? It'll be the perpendicular from G, right? So this point here will be point H. And what they want is they want that distance GH. So you have to find that distance GH. Now, check it. What have we done by dropping that perpendicular? We've created from one triangle two right angle triangles. And this distance we want here is opposite 54. And the 45 is opposite the right angle, which makes it the what? The hypotenuse of that right angle triangle. And which ratio do we use if we are looking for opposite and have hypotenuse? O and H. So, sine, we use sine. So sine 54 would be GH over 245. Sorry, I've given away the answers. You see how we dropped that purple line, right? Right. So what we've done there is we've dropped what we call a perpendicular from G to H. A perpendicular is a line that meets another one at 90 degrees. So in so doing, we have now created two right angle triangles. One on the kind of upper side with the EG and H, with the 54 degrees and 245, and the smaller one with the orange hypotenuse. Now what they want us to find is they want us to find the length of the purple line, the length of that perpendicular. So if we consider the triangle on the top here, we have 54 degrees. This is 90. We could find that if necessary, but it's probably not. We are looking for the length which is opposite to the 54-degree angle. And the length we have is opposite to the right angle, which makes it the hypotenuse. So if you're looking for opposite and you have hypotenuse in a right angle triangle, you can use sine. Yo. Is what? Oh. Let me see if I print this, what's going to happen.
I would.
Good. Isn't it? That's a new one. When you put in a new cartridge, it's supposed to pull up a dialog box on your thing to clear the cartridge. That is All right, let's finish this off quickly. It's not sure where to put the working, but I'll put it below there. So I'll put a little separator line here. Right, so sine 54 degrees is equal to GH over 245. So to solve for GH, we'd simply have to multiply by the denominator on both sides of the equation. Good. So about 198. Kilometers. Yeah, well, it's less than 252, so that could work, yeah. All right, cool. All right, Google Meet. Let's give me a quick G in the chat if you're good with this question, please and thanks. Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, so it's 3 people. Okay, right. So, folks, I think we'll put a pin in it there for today, right? Right. So, when we come back next week, we'll spend a couple days more with these types of participle questions. Yeah. So, if you're having issues, right, try and see if you could articulate to me what those issues are, right? So either Mishka or myself can help you with this, whether it's knowing when to use sine or cosine rule, what the formulas are, how to find a bearing, because bearings are relatively new to us, right? So if you're having issues, you have to let me know, and we could figure out what the issues are so we could address them. Anyhow, so Google Meet, that's about it for tonight. Again, if you all have any questions you didn't get to ask during class, please feel free to message me, WhatsApp me, send me a picture. Again, not in the chat, just send it in private. Anyhow, so I'll see you all next week. Have a good weekend. Bye. All right, Google. Sorry. Hi, Alexander. Sorry, I wasn't watching my comments on YouTube. My apologies. Caden. Hi, Alex. Right. Paul Street. Why Jet trying to dox Caden? Alexander talking to who?